My name's Lenny, this is Matt. We're going to show you the safe and proper way to quickly and efficiently install flow wall. When installing flow wall, you don't need to go all the way to the top or the bottom. You don't want to have them too high where you can't reach them. You want to maybe have your panels 85 to 90 inches high. You also don't want to go all the way to the floor. Give yourself 12 to 15 inches from the bottom so that you're not putting stuff where you can't effectively store it. If you're hanging cabinets, flow wall panels come 6 panels to a box. You want to go 6 panels high. That's going to give you enough room to accommodate your tall storage cabinets as well as wall and base combos. For other installations like sports equipment, lawn and garden equipment and stuff like that, you don't need to go all the way to the top and bottom. 2 or 3 panels high should do the trick. You don't really need to go all the way into the corners. You're not making a box of flow wall. Center your flow wall installation on the wall. Give yourself 6 to 24 inches from the corners. Now, the secret to the proper installation of anything is having the right tools. You need a good quality stud finder, a good quality drill with a number 2 bit on it, nice pencil, good quality tape measure, any kind of a good industrial construction adhesive, a good contractor level. Another thing you want is an installation guide. We're using a little 1x2 piece of scrap wood, put a couple screws in it. We have our planning guide hung up on the wall here so we can use this as a quick reference guide. Okay, so we got everything together, we're ready to start installing. On this wall, we're going to be installing 2 8-foot sections of flow wall, 6 feet high. We're going to start our installation 12 inches from the corner. We're going to make sure that the panels are going to be about 5 inches over that base molding. If that's going to be 5 inches from the ground, you want your starting guide to be 65 inches from the bottom. Level this off right here and draw a nice little line at the 65-inch mark. Now that we know where that's going, we know where the panels are going, we want to go out and we want to mark our studs.
Simply take your stud finder across the wall and find the edge of the stud. You're going to want to mark that spot. From there, continue going across until you find the other edge. Mark that as well. Now we have determined where our stud is, and we want to go right into the middle. To be sure, I take a screw and make sure I've hit the stud.
Now that we got our first stud identified, we're just going to go run down the wall and get all of our other studs found. Most studs are going to be 16 inches off center, so you want to go ahead and just mark those off, and then you can run through with the stud finder and make sure that those are in fact where they are. Now that we have all of our stud points identified, Matt's just going to make a line that identifies where the stud is, a little bit above our starting guide, maybe 2 or 3 feet down. That installation guide we talked about, this is where you're going to use it. What you want to do is you want to put your installation guide at the bottom of where the top panel is going to go. Find that mark that we have drawn out there, and you want to just gently screw it into the wall, just so it stays in place. Then use your level to level it out. All right, now we got the starting guide up, we're ready to install our first panel. Get yourself your construction adhesive and give yourself a thin little bead right along the top of the back of each slat. Just go down there. Doesn't have to be pretty. Got the glue up here. We're ready to put the first panel up. Now, here, be very sure that you double check. The slats go up. Don't hang the panel up upside down. You're going to be pretty bummed out when you go to do it again. So this little flange here, that is up. The slat going up, that's up. Gently rest the panel on the starting guide. And we're going to give it one more check. The nice thing about flow wall is once the first one's up straight, the rest of them go up like Legos. I'm going to go ahead and put the first screw in. You can see this was the mark we made for where the stud is. In the middle of each slat, there's a little guide. The center of the screw goes into that stringer. That's going to help you make sure that your screw is going in nice and straight. Start with the left, work your way to the right. We recommend you start off with this crisscross pattern. You need a screw in every stud, but you don't need it in every slat. So we go from the bottom one on the left to the top slat here to the right. We're just going to keep alternating, top, bottom, top, bottom. Once you start going, you can see how easy this stuff is to install. Our first panel's up. We got it screwed into the wall. We're ready to lose the guide. On this installation, we're going to be going 2 panels wide, so we're going to grow the wall horizontally. Before we go down, we want to get our second top panel up. So what we did is we just moved our guide over just a little bit. Just put it in there for a second so we know we have the ability to put our second panel up. When you connect your panels, Flowall offers two ways to do that. If you're going to leave the wall exposed or open without cabinets, we recommend the connector strip. It has two little plugs that go into the dowel pin connectors on the wall, and it's got a little T-flange that covers the wall up from the front. This way you can't see the seams. In this installation, since we're going to be using cabinets, we don't really want to use the connector strip. So we're going to use the dowel pin connectors. They go right into these little dowel pin slots on the side and give you a place so that you can evenly connect the panels. We identify that this is in fact the top. We're going to go ahead and just rest it on top of our guide. Then we're going to connect it right there where the seam comes together. Just go ahead and run a screw on both sides. I know there's no stud here. It's okay. That'll seat it nice and together. The glue will set in. You won't even know those seams are there. Take off our screw guide. Go ahead and set that aside. You're not going to need that for a while. Now that we have our top panels installed, we're ready to grow the wall vertically and horizontally and finish this wall installation. Every once in a while you come across an outlet, a light switch, a sprinkler box, something that you want to cut around. The good news is Flowall can easily be cut. Disconnect the power first, obviously, before you deal with that. We're going to measure how far we are so we know where to cut our panel. So we're measuring about 43 inches, just, probably 42 7/8 inches from the panel over. So, and then we're measuring from the panel above it. We're figuring we're right about 2 inches down from the panel above it. So we got our panel here that we're going to cut on. We measured 42 7/8 away from the right. We're going to measure from the top down 2 inches to 5 inches. We want to draw a line 2 inches down to 5 inches. We'll make a little mark there. Do the same thing on the other side. That's the opening we're going to draw in our flow wall. We got a little box drawn out here on the panel. We got a little 1-inch drill bit, make a hole, a little guide. Real nice and easy like that. We're going to go ahead and get our saw. We're going to make a little hole through there. All right. Look at that, perfect. Okay, so you got your box extender right here. You're going to go over your screws, and you want it to sit flush onto your panel. You want to take your junction box, you want to put it right over your panel, like so. Line the screw holes up, pull all of your connection points through. Take your socket, wire it back up, make sure you get the wires right. Get your blacks on the black, get your whites on the white.
Now with our panels up, we can have a clean, finished look by using the finish strips. Simply line up the pins on the strip to the wall and push them in for a secure fit. Take your next strip, line it up with the bottom of the one that you just did, lock it in. It's that easy.